Well, good evening. This is Hound Dog Steve coming to you on Tuesday, the 20th of June, the eve of the first day of summer. And I hope this finds you well. And boy, it was a glorious day here in Bobcaton. Just the right temperature, about 22 degrees. Sunny, a little cloud, and we had a little sprinkle later on in the day. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about to you today is Theresa May. There she is. I don't know whether this is a poor photograph, but she looks very pinched and drawn in this photograph. And I know the election was a little while ago, and I've held off on making a comment on the election because I wanted to see whether Theresa May could hash out a deal with the DUP, the Democratic Unionist Party in Ireland. And it seems that they have hammered out some kind of a deal, and the Queen has given assent for Theresa May to continue with her minority government and form a cabinet, and so that is what's taking place right now. And you know, the pundits here in the paper are really going on about that. Oh, the Labour really won, and she lost, and she's tottering, and she's teetering, and oh my God, isn't this terrible, and all this kind of stuff. But for the public, for you and I, this is the most excellent result for democracy. So as things stand, okay, Jeremy Corbyn, the head of the Labour Party, has 262 seats, and Theresa May for the Conservatives have 318 seats. With the DUP on side, Theresa May has 328 seats, and Jeremy Corbyn, with all the other parties that are involved, can only achieve 322 seats. So Theresa May can win her votes, there's no doubt about it. She has a majority, but she has to discuss this with the DUP, and this will include discussion with the public, discussion with Northern Ireland on all issues. So we are actually going to see a democratic process where the public are involved, and we should rejoice. We've seen this in BC. Christy Clark has now got a minority government. And oh, what a different Christy Clark we're seeing now from the dictator, the take it or leave it, the I love Linda hashtag Christy Clark. You don't have to vote for us, that's why we're a democracy. Well, this is what we need in Ontario, a minority government. Now, I don't know how we're going to achieve this, because usually it's the suburbs and urban residents that vote for Liberal, and it is the rural residents that vote Conservative. But what we need to do is we need to get a jumble. So you have either a Conservative minority, a Liberal minority, and they have to join up with the Greens or the NDP to make decisions, because when that happens, trust me, they have to turn to us. And this is amazing. When this kind of stuff happens, we get led on by governments that, well, we don't get a majority, we're in big trouble. No, we're not in big trouble. They're in big trouble. That's what they mean, and that's what we have to understand by these words that they use. They're in big trouble. Now, I just want to add in here a little reminder. If we didn't pay taxes, if we didn't get up and go to work every day, would there be a government? Where does government get all its money? Whether we're talking municipal, provincial, or federal. 3 layers of government, all paid for by the public, because the government generates no money whatsoever. The government lives off the largesse of the public. I want you to think about that for a second. And who should be the beneficiary of all government and government services. And so don't you be shy when you're asking to be heard. You are the beneficiary. I am the beneficiary in this situation. Okay? Without us, there would be no government. And that's a very important point to remember when you're dealing with government. You don't have to be arrogant, you don't have to be pushy, you don't have to treat these people who are on the front row, and this is one of the things that government does, is you find the front row of people that you are going to meet, where the public and the government interact, are usually just folk like you and I. How can you get mad at Mary Ellen? She's got a couple of kids, she's in the PTA, she goes to the same group that you go to for yoga. I mean, you know, so this is what they do. They make these incredibly foolish decisions, and then they put really nice people between you and them that you have to deal with your own. And so when we finally achieve democracy, and that's what this is. So we need, going forward, we're in such a precarious situation worldwide, whether we're dealing with climate, societal issues, financial issues. There are some pretty big things taking place in the world today. Okay? And we don't need government that is working on a knee-jerk reaction. You do not need a government that is responding to merely special interest groups. Okay? We are in a situation right now that we need to be open and honest. Everyone needs to come clean in this situation. So, moreover, I am glad to see that Britain has finally found the democracy it deserves. And the DUP, incidentally, this is an interesting little party because they were a party founded by Ian Paisley, who is a real firebrand. This party is basically anti-everything. They're anti-gay, they're anti-same-sex marriage, they're pro-Brexit. And of course, you see, Theresa May is absolutely stuck. She cannot get into bed with the Lib Dems. They tried that with Cameron and then that failed. Okay, she cannot get into bed with the Scottish National Party, the SNP, because they want to stay in Europe, so they're going to be no good in support for a Brexit vote. Okay, so she is stuck with the DUP. It's that or nothing. And so she is going to have to bite her tongue and discuss everything with the DUP. And I'm hoping that the fact that really, you know, we say conservative and right wing, but really the kind of conservative we're looking at here is very centrist. Same with the Liberal Party. They're very centrist. There are very slight differences between the two. They may appear to be quite large, but really, in the scheme of things, they're very, very slight. Okay, so here we have a far right party and a centrist party. And right now, we need to be a little bit more right wing than left wing, I'm afraid. We need to be a bit more nationalistic. We need to be looking out for our own interests in our own country. We have gone too far to the left. And this is why Donald Trump was elected. Because this was a kickback. Because over the years, bit by bit, one by one, people have been disenfranchised from the left wing. They've got too radical, they've gone too far to the left, and so those people who were traditional liberals or traditional Democrats are now in the Republican side. Okay? Because they've been disenfranchised, and this happened one by one, little by little, like a dripping tap. Okay, people moving away, especially in the Rust Belt or flyover America as they call it, until we reached a point where they were offered two choices. You vote for Hillary and you get the same kind of government that's disenfranchised you over the years, or you vote for a wild card in Donald Trump and you hope for the best. Those were the two choices that were offered in this election, and that's what you got. So I'm hoping that this is going to moderate the situation in England. I think this will turn off the idea of spying on people and controlling the internet, which I've said shouldn't be controlled. And it's unfortunate that in America, I mean, I know that the system in America is basically through the Congress and the Senate are supposed to control and balance the presidential, whether that's Republican or Democrat, but it's obviously not working. And I don't know whether this is because of the lobbying situation or what, but basically it's not working as it should do. So you can't really get a minority in America. You're stuck with one president from one party, right or left. And it's interesting that the media only concentrate on those two parties, right or left. You really don't hear a lot from other parties, and it's the same here in Canada. We have three parties. We have the Liberals, the Conservatives, and the NDP, and the Green Party. Well, the Green Party has one seat, so it's virtually non-existent, and the other three parties dominate, with the Conservatives and the Liberals being the predominant parties. And so, we really are funneled. The media really supports this paradigm with the 2 or 3 party system, and of course this keeps us going at each other, and this is not good. Whilst we're going at each other, we're not solving our problems. So we need to, I think, even if we can give thought to this, okay, if we can give thought to the idea of having a minority government in the future going forward, it might lend itself to the things we listen to, the things that we vote for, and the things that we support. Well, that is my views on Theresa May and the coalition government in England and the governing Conservatives and Brexit. So this is Hound Dog Steve signing off. I hope this finds you well, and please like and subscribe down below, and yes, we'll talk soon. You take care. Have a great evening now.